From the News Channel 5 Network, this is SportsLine.
Hey there, SportsLine on your television. Steve Lehman here with you. Glad you are here with us on this Tuesday night on News Channel 5 Plus. I think we have a really fun show for you lined up tonight because we have the legendary former News Channel 5 sports director Hope Hines in studio. We're going to chat with him, get caught up on the Predators, get caught up on the Titans, some of his thoughts. He's had the vantage point of these two teams ever since they came to Nashville, what he thinks about some of the latest developments with them. You can join in on the conversation tonight, 737-7767, if you'd like to talk to Hope, like to get your opinion out on the Predators or Titans as well. We'll do that for a couple of segments, and then the second half of the hour, Hope will actually take over the show because his good friends from Shoney's and from the Nashville Police Department will be here because remember, the 9th annual Shoney's 5K Fun Run comes up this Saturday morning, 8 a.m. over at Nissan Stadium. All proceeds from that event benefit the Nashville Police Support Fund, and so it is certainly a great cause. It is a great event every year, and is something that is near and dear to Hope's heart. So he will take it away in the second half an hour. You can figure out what you need to do to get involved, to get out and run, or to just support the police here in Nashville. So Hope, great to see you, my friend. Always good to have you back. Does it feel weird to be back in this studio?
Yeah, it does a little bit because you guys have changed things up so much since I was here. We used to do the news over here, and now now people don't understand what we're saying because they don't. You know, they don't have the run of the station on a daily basis. But
there's two studios.
Yes, there are two studios, but we used to do the news. Well, we started in Studio A doing the news over there back in the 70s when I started. Right. Then we moved over here, and now you're back over there, and that's because I think you had to have an expanded room for the new set you have, which, by the way, is just outstanding.
It is. I kind of pinch myself every night when I walk in there. Do you wish you had a chance to play around with a tool like that?
I do. It is. I mean, it's huge. It's a big show. It
is a big show, as you well know. You ran the show for quite a long time around here.
I was just a small part of the show, but it's a big show now, and it's a great look. You guys ought to be proud, yeah.
What do you miss the most about covering sports on a daily basis?
I miss the people. I miss the people here at Channel 5. I miss the people that I used to cover, the coaches. You know, the coaches and players come and go. You know, that's yearly. But just that, you know, just the people, the interaction, and I miss the fans. You know, I really do. But I'll tell you what, it is just wonderful. The fans that still remember me, and it's almost 6 years now since I was here, and just about every day somebody comes up somewhere, and it still amazes me. But now you have to be a certain age to remember me. If you're a young kid, you don't know who I am.
It's funny, I'm coming up on 6.5 years here, and somebody asked me about that the other day, and I said it, and for a moment I thought, gosh, it feels like a long time. It's the longest job I have ever held in one continuous stretch. And then I thought, Hope did this for 40, right here. That's incredible to me. What a run.
I was very fortunate. Actually, I was more blessed than I was fortunate to be able to stay here because this is one of the finest stations in these United States. And I've worked at about 7 or 8, you know, from the West Coast to the East Coast back in my day for 8 years that I traveled working in different places. And Channel 5 stood head and shoulders above everybody else.
We like to think it still does, and you're a big part of building the legacy that hopefully allows us to carry that on.
I like to tell people that I was in television during the local news golden era, and I think about that. There were only 3 channels that you could get back in those days, ABC, CBS, and NBC. You know, and Ted Turner, of course, was building, you know, his deal down in Atlanta, CNN, but before that, the Superstation, and finally we could see movies at night past midnight, and that was a dawning of a new age.
It certainly is when you think of all the cable channels and things like that that you have to compete with now. I should ask, how's retirement? People want to know. They don't see you on their TV anymore, so how do you keep busy these days?
I tell people retirement's the best job I've ever had, and it's great. I'm busier now than I was when I ever worked at Channel 5. That's because I'm involved in a lot of things, you know, in church and civic. And I run a golf tournament for the 24th year. Tennessee Baptist Children's Home is coming up on June 5th, so we're all involved in that. And I have 7 grandkids, so I'm busy. Ooh. I'm busy.
Yeah?
Yes.
They range in age quite a bit, so I know you have a lot of activities you're doing.
25 to 3. That's quite a gamut.
That is, and that will keep you busy
and
for sure.
I have 2 grandchildren graduating from high school in the next 2 weeks. One is in Tampa, one is here. And and then my granddaughter from Tampa is coming to attend Belmont in the fall. So then all of the grandchildren will be here.
Now that is awesome.
That is awesome.
You've sort of had a way over the years of getting them to kind of come to Nashville and keep them around. Makes your job a little easier.
Yes, it does. It does. And we're very, very, very pleased and very fortunate for that to be.
So we've got a caller here. We've got Jim on line 1. Phone lines are open, 737-7767, if you'd like this moment to chat with our guy Hope here. Jim, what do you say? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, Jim. You're on the air.
Jim.
Okay, man, I just want to say it's so good to see you back on TV there, Mr. Hope Hines. We miss you tremendously.
Well, you're very kind, Jim. I appreciate your kind words.
Well, listen now, I grew up watching you on Channel 5, and I'm retired myself now, and so I tell you, it's just a pleasure to see you back on TV, and I think you need to come on back.
Jim, you know what? I tell people 40 years was enough.
I hear you. I hear you. I'm retired now myself, so
but I miss a lot of people.
I get it on that deal, but it's certainly good to see you and see you're doing so well.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Jim, for the call. We appreciate it. Retirement's not so bad, right?
Oh, no. Retirement is wonderful. Now, here's what I tell people also, and you need to pay attention. We all plan financially. We don't plan for what we're going to do the day you wake up and you don't have a job.
Right.
I run into people all the time and say, hey, Hope, how's retirement? I say, great. They say, I'm bored. I say, that's your fault. Because there's enough out there to get involved in. Mm-hmm. If people know that you want to contribute and give, they'll find a place for you. So my friend, retirees, if you're sitting around doing nothing and you're bored, there's plenty of things to do. Just get involved.
Sometimes I feel like I could play tennis or golf every day, but I've heard from people you can't even do that every day in retirement.
No, the body won't stand it.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
You got to get up to it. Let's go to Tina. Tina, good evening. You're on with Hope Hines.
Hi, Mr. Hope Hines. I wanted to tell you it's so good to see you again.
You're very, very kind, Tina. Thank you.
Well, you had sent a signed picture to my son, Seth Wooldridge, years ago.
Oh, okay.
And sent him cards and different things. He's sick. And it meant the world to him and to me as his mom. And from the bottom of my heart, I truly appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being a viewer for all those years.
Have a great afternoon.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Tina. We appreciate the call. I have got to think, I've had a couple instances where you meet people or young kids who watch what you do and think, gosh, I'd love to be the guy on TV someday. Over 40 years and doing it for the majority of the time right here in this town, right. I have to imagine you've had phone calls and personal interactions like that more times than you can remember, but I'm guessing each time it touches you. Oh, listen, I'm so thrilled, and that's the word I choose to use when people speak to me, whether I'm at Shoney's restaurant or wherever I may be eating or out, no matter where I am, or shopping or whatever, and they come up and, basically what they say is, hey, Hope, miss you. And I say, well, thank you very much. And it really does thrill me. So I appreciate each and every time somebody takes their time to stop and acknowledge me and what I might have done or meant to them. And that's great. Rob is doing that right now. Rob, on line 1, you're on with Hope Hines.
Hello, Mr. Hines. Honored to speak with you. I hope you're going to grace us with another book, because I know there's a lot more material you have. Could you just recount for some of the folks that haven't heard it a couple of John Merritt stories? Well, thank you, Rob. First of all, you got to know who John Merritt was. John Merritt was one of the great personalities of my career. He really indeed was. He was the head football coach at Tennessee State for all those years when I was here, and then when I left and went to San Diego. And John Merritt has had a huge impact on my career and my life. Big John always smoked a cigar. We did his television show right here. Right? And that show, ladies and gentlemen, was the highest rated show the entire year of any locally produced program. Not because of Hope Hines, solely because of Big John Merritt and his personality. People love that man.
he was great. He would do his own commercials. We have some rocking chairs over here that our guests are sitting in right now, and he would sit in a rocking chair and do Sunbeam bread commercials, or he'd do Lazy Boy chair, and he just rear back, smoke that cigar, and in about 30 seconds a gray halo was right above his head. You thought he was angelic.
He was quite the figure, that's for sure. You have so many great stories in the book, In Hindsight, for people who haven't read it yet. I read it the day you gave me a copy and enjoyed every second of it, from someone who has the perspective of kind of the behind the scenes of the business, but got to see all the great stories and all the great characters that you came across. Is there one other great character that really stands out to you that's in that book?
Yes, Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
And I had the distinct honor and privilege of going to Zaire in 1974 to cover the Ali Foreman Rumble in the Jungle. So, and that's a great story as to how that even happened, because a local television guy it didn't happen. But, you know, if you buy the book, you can read the story. Anyway, Muhammad Ali was one of the great personalities, and he was a pleasure to be around during that week of the fight. He's a great story. There's so many. There are an awful lot all across the country, people that I was involved with. So, I mean, I can go on and on, but I don't want to waste time with down memory lane.
You came in, they're all great stories. You came in last summer when Muhammad Ali passed away and talked about some of that trip to Zaire and some of the great stories you had with him and the figure who he is. So I encourage people to get the book and read it, because the stories are just phenomenal, and they're about Ali and about so many other people. Is Rob going to get his wish? Is there a sequel, or is there another book that may come from Hope Hines at some point?
Well, I'm writing a book, but this is a novel, and it has nothing to do with sports. So, no, I'm not going to write a sequel to In Hindsight. I mean, I told everything I could tell. Some people might have to die before I can finish.
We don't want that to happen.
No, I think I'm done with that. We'll let In Hindsight rest as it is.
Hey, it was a great book. Again, I would recommend it for anybody out there who watched Hope or just is interested in the business and some of the characters behind the scenes in sports, because it's all in there. So it is a very interesting read. Phone lines are open, 737-7767. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to get Hope's thoughts on the Predators and this amazing run in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Also, maybe some thoughts on the Titans draft and what to expect in 2017 as well. Stay with us. You're watching SportsLine on News Channel 5+.